Oh, is it cool if I grab your number though?
No.
I can't take you on a date? Why? Oh, okay, no worries. Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm in love with you. What's your name?
Ashley.
Are you from Australia?
No, England. Already?
What?
That's fun. Oh, you
Who's this? I have no idea what this girl is.
There's so much going on in the world right now. From the number of leftists I'm owning on X in the last 3 days has been monumental. Guys, if you aren't following me already on X, be sure to go there. I've created a new space recently. Let me show you where I'm going to be having basically a community so where I can post my videos on X. They're getting thousands of views. My video on Andrew Tate, I'll show you guys, is close to, I think, 20,000 views last time I checked. Oh my gosh, wow. 24,000 views on X. And on YouTube, I don't even think it has 500, right? So clearly there is censorship. But go to X, follow me here, and join my community called Abraham's Base Videos. It's linked right at the top of my profile. This way you can watch my videos on X very easily without having to filter through all of my tweets that aren't linking directly to videos. Because I don't want to just post my videos, I also want to post thoughts and comments on various things that are happening. And my X account has been growing tremendously. I've gotten like 5 new followers in the last 10 minutes. There's a lot I could talk about today, from the Krasentines freaking out that they can't, quote, sue X and get things taken down that they don't like.
Should be able to send a cease and desist to X and get content removed.
I mean, at that point, it's just unfortunate you have that voice, right? That specific octave of communicating. I don't know why it had to be combined with being 5'4". But this video, though, I want to focus on the feminine psychopathic resentment for reality, because I've been dealing with a lot of it recently in some of the replies to my tweeted videos, especially the one about Andrew Tate and how it's essentially a battle between the best of humanity, men striving forward ambitiously, embracing logic, rationality, and reason to embody reality to the point where they can be the best version of themselves, and then mentally ill, deformed freaks that are doing nothing but really just showcasing why we need to reopen the asylums. And a lot of those people are women. There's a fantastic YouTuber who I just discovered, who you guys should totally go watch, because her channel's called Lexi Girl, and she basically talks about how civilization has been doing nothing but declining since women have been able to vote. But she's right, and I think the reason is because the left has been able to take such tremendous advantage of women's emotionality and natural proclivity to not focus on objective reality, as it's too oppressive and uncomfortable for their psyche, and feed them endless emotional lies about how they can be good people just as a result of being on the right team, repeating the right lines, and of course, despising masculinity. Most girls in my generation, girls under 25 years old, are cognitively destroyed. They've been savaged and wrecked. And we know this from science, too, because research has proven that proclivity to abide in left-wing authoritarian regimes is positively correlated with a feminine temperament and low verbal IQ. That's exactly what you're about to see right here, because hatred for order, objectivity, and coherence is the same thing as having hatred for masculinity.
Oh, is it cool if I grab your number though?
This guy approaches like a bunch of teen, maybe 20-year-old, 19-year-old girls in Vegas asking for their number, right? So basically Gen Z.
I can't take you on a date? Why?
They're laughing at him for approaching. So this is already, like not a good scenario for most guys, right? This is not what you want to have happen. Girls laughing as you're like asking them. But if you're secure in yourself, it's not going to phase you. And it didn't phase this guy.
I can't take you on a date? Why? Oh, okay, no worries.
Okay, so they just said they're all taken. Okay, fine. So, maybe you didn't have to laugh at the guy, but whatever, you're all taken. So he moves on with his day, right?
Excuse me. Oh my god, I'm in love with you. What's your name?
Immediately approaches another girl, proving that he was not swayed and not manipulated or controlled by the female delusion and narcissism that came from those girls laughing at him literally less than 10 seconds ago. And because it was less than 10 seconds, I think it really sends a strong message, which is that this particular guy is not putting women on a pedestal. That message was more than those women who just rejected him could handle. So they chase him, not to try to get his number, but to confront him and to try to make sure that he doesn't get this girl's number. They end up failing.
Ashley.
Huh?
Ashley.
Are you from Australia?
No, England.
Listen to that shrieking noise, dude. Already, you just hear it like off camera. Already, oh my gosh, he wasn't shattered after we laughed at him. Oh my gosh, what is this? You mean that in a culture that's done nothing but demonize masculinity and tell men that their ambition and various drives are predatory oppression? This guy found it within himself to recover in less than 10 seconds? Untenable. It gets worse though.
It won't work. It's English number.
She said, that's fuck. In the background, you heard her say it.
It won't work. It's English number.
She said, that's fucked that you're moving on and getting another girl's number. Think about that. Why is that wrong? Because it signals very clearly that she's just another fish in the sea and that women should not be put on a pedestal, which is counter to the narrative being fed to all of society, but especially men, that society should be femme-centric, that we should cater to feelings, that women's emotionality and, let's be honest, inability to deal with the objective world should be catered to at all costs. That's how you know we're in trouble, when these girls say, that's messed up that you just moved on, but this is exactly what you have to do.
Yeah, it would work. It would work. It would work.
Bro, it's so creepy. It's like a video game NPC that just, like, approaches.
Already?
Dude, she walked over, like, 15 feet to be here.
It would work.
Already?
What?
She's trying to interject herself. This is so bizarre and antisocial.
That's fun.
Who's this?
Bro, these girls are looking at her like, what is this girl doing? Now, she can't play the same games of trying to gaslight these other girls with her degenerate femininity because they're also women. So you can see there's a marked difference in her interaction there, where she looks at these girls, realizes she can't manipulate them in the same way she's trying to manipulate this guy in accordance with the programming through society that has been telling men they have to bow to the femme-centric systems. And so she starts to panic there. She's looking at the other girls.
Already?
What?
That's fun.
And now she looks at these girls like, okay, I just did my performance. I just did everything to signal that he's bad and that he's somehow a predator for the actions that he took, which are completely fine. So since you're on my team, aren't you going to, like, reject him now because he's a bad guy, right? I just proved he's a bad guy. You got to be on my team to be a good person. And they're ignoring her.
Who's this? I have no idea what this girl is.
Dude, you see that girl's expression right there? She said, I don't know who this girl is.
Who's this? I have no idea what this girl is.
Very bizarre. Very bizarre. As a matter of fact, now the guys tweeting about this, most of them are saying stuff like, you know, this is a lesson you have to internalize. He moved on quickly, demonstrating that he knew his value, was not going to be stood there and made fun of, that he's not going to bow to their femme-centric systems and corruption, and they followed him. But Myron makes an even better point here, where he essentially says, keep in mind, he's interviewed at this point over 3,000 girls, so he knows how they operate, and he's dated hundreds of them. That girls have serious FOMO. This is the reason why when they see a guy that is surrounded with other hot, beautiful women, they view that as social proof, that they're missing out on what these other girls are getting because the women are proof that the guy had to fulfill all the attraction triggers to get those girls in the first place. The video of the girl that I just showed you was essentially upset that those attraction triggers were being met in another girl in front of her and that she was being judged, therefore, for her incoherence and corrupt behavior and conduct. So normally what happened there makes a woman more attracted to you. Here he leveraged it against her to make her upset by using the other girls to judge her behavior, if that makes sense. Most women will reject you for a reaction and for their ego. It's a very dark side of female nature that women never admit. Here's the ugly truth. They purposely reject you, hope for an angry reaction, and then document that by putting it in the group chat and make fun of you. Right, but the thing is that's what normally happens when a guy knows his value because he listens to Andrew Tate, because he listens to Myron, because he's aware of the manipulation going on in our culture and the psychological operations to undermine masculinity at all costs to decrease the population, for instance. He's not going to put up with that. And in that instant of him not putting up with it, the girl loses out because the girl loses out on a guy that is up here in relation to her, and that's where her hypergamy kicks in because women want to date that guy. They want to date up and across the socioeconomic hierarchies. And so this is how you leverage women's hypergamy against them, is you demonstrate your value by knowing your value, by not putting up with the bullshit tactics, and if they really are going to be degenerate, then you replace them. This is important. This is what a lot of tradcons don't understand. If a girl is not willing to respect your leadership, and I'm not talking about just approaching, I'm talking about in a relationship too. If she's not willing to respect you, follow your leadership, if she's disrespecting you, that means she doesn't think you can enforce consequences on her, or that the consequences that you'd enforce would be unimportant. And so it is at that point where you must replace her. You must get rid of her. This is where the red pill and the tradcons have to have a conversation, really have to have an integrated understanding of the objective world. Because modern women are actually destroyed in my generation, the old tactics from the 70s no longer exist. The way Ben Shapiro got his wife is not a viable model for 95% of men to get their wives. The way Jordan Peterson got his wife is not a viable model for 95% of men to get their wives because the quality of women is no longer the same as it was in the 80s, in the 70s, in the 60s. When a guy knows his value, it immediately knocks her off her pedestal. They will often feel the need to re-engage because and I see this literally in my comments where I own degenerate women like daily. They will often feel the need to re-engage because most men don't have the balls to do another approach right in front of her after rejection. So again, the demonstration that her degeneracy is not only unimportant, but childish and juvenile. This is a tactic that I had never seen before, but now that I've seen this, I think that it could be viable, and it serves the dual purpose of getting you more exposure too. Because if you ask a girl, let's say for a number, she says no, and then you like walk up to a girl like right next to her that she doesn't know, and I say that she doesn't know because if she's her friend, then she'll probably have some sort of allegiance to buying into the cult of feminine degeneracy. You can exercise consequences, get what you want, and demonstrate your value and frame all at the same time. This is very, very cool. Because you know that she expected this to just, be some sort of thing like Myron said, that she could brag about in the group chat of, oh, this guy approached me, I turned him down, whatever, but then she gets replaced. So much of repairing our modern culture, and I would say outside the domain of women finding a way to exist in objective reality, which will be their biggest challenge this century, given their demonization of masculinity. Outside of that, the ways of holding degenerate femininity accountable are paramount and central to the preservation of civilization, given that the push for left-wing authoritarianism and rejection of mental coherence and intellectual seriousness is driven by this feminine psychopathology. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, guys, and follow me on X as well. We're only growing at this point. I appreciate you all.